Hey guys, welcome to this week's Survivor Chat.
It is episode 11
I thought this was 12.
It's episode 12 of Millenials versus Jenks.
Yeah, alright, so after Tribal, Will feels like a man because he was a big part of that plan to get rid of Zeke.
Hey, it only took like 30-something days, right?
Survivor takes little boys and turns them into men.
Alright, well, Brett and Sunday want to work with Adam because they're feeling like, oh,
They're like, what do we do now?
We're all alone.
They gotta figure something out.
Alright, well, we get right to the immunity. There's no reward this week.
The reward is you're still there.
It's a set of steak knives.
It's a double elimination week. We don't have time for rewards.
Alright, so this was a challenge we haven't seen before. It was an obstacle course.
There might have been something like this before.
In 3 phases with discs. The first phase, you had to get your 10 discs over the balance beam by holding it on top of a little
Platform.
post. Yeah.
And you could take as many as you wanted at a time, but you gotta be able to balance them.
Yeah. The second part was you had to do like a little milkmaid thing. But you had to like get it through the obstacle course without them falling off. And then the third one was you had to rack them up and stack them up.
Yeah, you had to get all 10
You had
through
to throw
the slot.
them through the slot. Yeah. That was crazy.
It was crazy.
David had an early lead.
He was doing great, like on
Yeah.
that balance beam and everything.
Yeah, he was busting through that. And then
It pretty much came down to David, Jay, and Brett.
Right.
Will was sucking on this challenge.
Dead last.
He was really struggling on that balance beam.
He did he ever make it past the balance beam? I don't know. But Jay rocked out that final phase. He was all
At
like,
one point, he was like,
yeah.
he got like 4 in a row or something. It was crazy.
Freaking Spider-Man.
It was nuts.
Oh man, so he won immunity. He needed it.
He's
He
been
really
winning a lot
needed it.
lately. He's pulling out the wins.
So back at camp, Will and Jay
They're
are saying, hey, you know, we should probably get rid of David. We don't want him at the end because he's going to beat everybody.
He's really had an amazing journey during this season.
A transformation.
Yeah, and a lot of people respect that, and he is a huge threat to win this.
Hey, maybe they should come up with, like, survivor therapy.
Maybe.
Right? That probably
kind of like
saved
a
him,
rehab
like,
thing.
a lot of money in therapy. All right,
That's
so
great.
Adam makes a plan to vote off Will with Brett and Sunday.
Because he sees David as a threat, but he doesn't want to get rid of him just yet.
And
if it rhymes, it must be true.
he doesn't want some high school kid telling him how to play his game.
He does not like that. Adam has felt the power recently, and he wants to keep it. You know, Zeke is gone. He doesn't want somebody else to step in and be like, this is what we're doing.
Exactly. So at Tribal, David's worried.
He knows he's kind of up on the chopping block right now.
And it's not just because he's like neurotic. He's worried for good reason. Whose side are you on?
Yeah, we saw last week
Whose
Will was
side
the
are
swing.
you on?
So now Jeff is like, well, what are you going to do now?
Well, this is all like total voting blocks, like it was that season where they had like the All-Stars.
They do
come
it
back.
like every season now. It's all about the voting blocks.
Yeah. So you also have to make big moves in Survivor if you want the respect of the jury, because this is not America's vote. This is, you got to impress the people on the jury.
There was a lot of talk in this tribal council about like how far should you go with your big moves. Like you don't want to make too big of a move and then you're out because people are going to be pissed at you.
People are going to put a target on your back. So right as that was happening, it starts freaking pouring ass rain.
And Taylor's like, this is the driest they're going to be all night.
Oh, yeah. All right, so the conclusion of that was Will was voted out.
Oh, snap!
Get your ass back to class, boy.
Gotta go back to high school.
You know what? He did a good job until he went a little crazy.
He was doing great, and then he was like, I need to make big moves, and this is what they were talking about in the tribal. He went too far, people couldn't trust him, and
you know what?
he was voted out.
You need to make big moves, but you gotta also make people realize that you're not making big moves.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You still have to have the trust.
You can explain
everyone
it
else.
later on to the jury. You don't have to be like, yo, I'm making this big move now. Check it off on my box for when it comes time
Well,
when I'm
his
in the
problem
final
was
three.
he was flipping back and forth, and they didn't know
Right.
You know, who he was actually with.
It was more than that. But.
Okay. So anyway, back at camp, Jay is freaking out because he's like, oh crap, I'm on the wrong side of a vote again. And the other person was voted out.
He's like the Black Widow. Everyone he marries, he devours.
Yeah, so like Jay's like, oh man, I'm still at the bottom. What the hell am I going to do?
Well, Adam comes over and tries to smooth things over. He apologizes to Jay for screwing him over, lying to him.
And then he lies to him again.
He said, hey, we should get David out, right? But he really wants Jay out.
Freaking Adam and Jay are a real Cain and Abel.
Yeah, they're like on Lost.
They're like the Smoke Monster and Jacob on
Yes.
Lost. I totally see that.
All right, so it's time for another immunity challenge, and this one was something new, something special.
This was cool. I like this.
This was kind of like that Big Brother challenge where you have to keep the ball moving.
Right, but there was another added element to this.
Yeah.
So you have to keep the ball moving in your like Survivor pinball game.
It's like a little Plinko thing.
But at the same time, it's acting as a timer.
Right.
Because you're working on this other puzzle, and you have to keep checking back to make sure your ball is not going to fall out of the pinball board.
And if it falls out, you get a penalty, and your penalty is to have it go through this long ass.
You're going to be sitting there for like a while waiting for it. And you can't work on your puzzle while you're in the penalty
zone. You can look at the
zone.
puzzle, but you can't
touch
work on it. Yeah. So, yeah, there's lots of penalties. There were lots of penalties.
It was a learning curve.
Yeah. And Ken spelled millennials wrong.
Oh my god! And he went to get it checked by Jeff, and Jeff was like, and Ken is wrong and dumb. No, he's not dumb, but like, what? He spelled millennials really, really, really wrong. Like, really wrong.
It didn't even like match up.
It wasn't even the same word.
You know?
And he thought it was right.
No.
Oh, Ken.
He still ended up winning, though, because Adam kind of helped him out by telling
definitely
him
helped him out
when his ball was about to fall.
So he's like, you can keep working on the puzzle. Oh, you got to get back there. So Jay noticed that, and he was kind of like, why are you helping him?
Because I don't want you to win, Jay.
All right. So anyway,
I didn't say that, but
back at camp, David knows that he's in trouble again.
yeah,
It's either going to be David or Jay at this point.
right. And David comes up with this complicated scheme, plan, vote to get rid of Brett.
Right,
in the
because
end.
everybody knows that Jay has this hidden immunity idol. So, like, we gotta make him play it. Maybe he won't. Maybe we'll get rid of him. Maybe we'll get rid of David instead if he does use it. So it's, like, really complicated.
Yeah. So Hannah's like, hey, let's just vote out Sunday. She's a goat.
Hannah's worried about somebody dragging Sunday
Right.
to the end and taking someone else's spot. She
Somebody
was not like that.
Hannah's spot at the end.
Well...
I mean, if you have one goat at the end, that's only room for two respectable players.
Yeah.
So
She wants her out of there, and David's like, as long as it's not me, yeah. Ken's like, okay.
yeah, well, Ken will do pretty much anything to stay with his alliance. So Adam wants Jay out or Dave.
Yeah, he does not want to go another week not getting a big target out.
He does not want Sunday out.
Yeah, I can't believe that Hannah told him. I was like, wait, what? What?
Well, if Sunday gets voted out, then two big threats are still going to be in the game according to Adam. And two big threats, one who has his idol in his pocket still. So that's like three big threats.
Okay.
'Cause 2 + 1 = 3.
But anyway, Adam was like, Hannah, you can't vote Sunday out. We gotta get one of these two guys out. And she's like, I don't know.
So Adam tells Jay to play his idol. He also tells Jay that his mom has stage 4 lung cancer.
Yeah. This
And
was
the
so
treatment has stopped working.
emotional.
And Jay,
He pulls his buff over his eyes, and they're crying together.
Because he loves his mom, and his mom had cancer too.
She has her own health issues too,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're both playing for their moms. It was super emotional.
So he said Adam's not a weasel anymore.
It was another bonding moment for the Smoke Monster and Jacob.
I loved it. The friendship between these two are just...
I'm enjoying
love
watching it.
Yeah. So at Tribal, Jeff is probsting about alliances and friendships. Are they important? Do you need them to get you to the end? Is everybody out for themselves?
Well, it's been working for David.
Yeah.
His friends have kept him around.
Mm-hmm.
but he's still in trouble.
He feels like it too. He feels like this could be it.
Yeah.
This could be my last tribal.
So then Jeff starts asking Sunday, like, are you a goat?
What do you think, Sunday? And she's like, well, I don't think so. I think people underestimate me, but
I wasn't sure where Sunday was going with this, because she was like, I would get votes.
yeah, I don't think so, but
No, but also, like, you really want to say that? That you're going to get all these votes?
she would get them anyway.
All right. But anyway.
It's time for the vote. And Jay is feeling a little, oh, so he plays his idol.
Yeah, I don't blame him, because he would have felt really stupid if he didn't play it and he was voted out.
Yeah. And Sunday got voted out.
Oh, snap! He didn't have to use the idol, but
No.
that's how it went. That's how the cookie
All right,
crumbles.
so we're down.
Sunday was blindsided, by the way.
Absolutely. Hashtag blindside.
As was Brett.
Yes. So, next week is the finale.
What?
Can you believe it? We're down to 6.
We've got 3 millennials and 3 Gen Xers left.
You better get an extra large popcorn next week because it is a 3-hour tour. It is the
really
2
excited
hours
with
of
who's left.
Survivor, the game, and then there's the 1-hour reunion.
Right.
Oh boy. I'm excited, but I'm like not excited to have my ass die in a chair for 3 hours.
Get up and stretch. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week, much love.
love.